This is rapping.
Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home.
It's very important to me that whatever I have to say is worth saying. And I believe very strongly, of course, simplicity is always the rule. And of course, whatever you say, so long as you say it in such manners as to where the smallest layman can pick it up and understand, shouldn't be any difficulties in misinterpreting, my words.
This is Rapping, Curtis Mayfield, singer, composer, social commentator, an artist deeply involved. Today he raps on drugs, movie scores, religion, pollution, peace, and much more. Curtis Mayfield, rapping.
Singing in a temple, talking with the elders. We gotta have peace to keep the world alive and war to cease.
Well, we gotta have peace. I just felt like everybody, you think in terms of war. I just can't believe that any mass of people really want war, in spite of, injustices and situations. I know the mass really don't want war. Usually there are just other things that usually brings them into the situations that they have. Everybody, sometimes it's almost a frustration of, we gotta have peace, and the song says, and if the soldier who is dead and gone, if only we could bring back one. I'm sure he'd even say, in spite of whatever he's fighting for, we gotta have peace. Why do I have to really die here,
And the people in our neighborhood, they would if they only could meet and shake the other's hand, work together for the good of the land, give us all an equal chance. It could be such a sweet romance. And the soldiers who are dead and gone, if only we could bring back one, he'd say we gotta have peace to keep the world alive and war to cease.
And it would be nice sometimes to see a few of the older sets sort of turn on to the just the opposition or the difference in opinion that the young have to say in reference of many situations, especially civil ones.
There's a set going strong, a lot of things going on. The man of the hour has an air of great power. The dudes have envied him for so long. Oh, Superfly, you're gonna make your fortune.
Superfly, it's an expression. It means many, many things. Up, hip, all the high fashions, Cadillacs, Rolls Royces, onto hip things that might just turn you on. Superfly,
Wasn't dumb, but a weakness was shown, cause his hustle was wrong. His mind was his own, but the man lived alone. Ooh, Superfly, you're gonna make your fortune by and by. But if you lose, don't ask no questions why. The only game you know is do or die.
If I go back 15 years, I didn't even want to do any of this. I really wanted to be a scientist when I was young, until I found that, you had to be fairly good with mathematics, and that was my worst subject. And I wished to be an artist until I found that you didn't really, get into the big money until you were 200 years gone, I really got into the script, the reading of the script. The first piece of the movie that I had gotten was such a turn on, the way it read. Actually, to me, it read better than the movie even turned out, because they were able to color it and what have you. But I suppose I'd have to fall to the main, one of the main favorites is probably Pusherman. It's just down, and it's an expression, and is the way a hustler really would come in with a Superfly motive, Superfly ego, and telling what his thing is supposed to really be, And I think this one gets down more or less.
I'm your pusherman. I'm your pusherman. Silent life of crime.
Well, I'm anti-drugs, especially anti-drugs in accordance to what might be considered hard drugs. I'm, of course, against even liquor and beer and smoking if it's to an excess as to where it might become harmful, especially for those who might be young and really can't handle it in a more mature manner. Think is one of my favorites. It's funny how I came into that tune. I knew I needed an instrumental for this particular scene where Priest was just somewhat summing up the whole situation from the intro of the movie on up to when Scatter was really ripped off by the main people. Think to me sort of represented an old gospel feel, in the music itself, this man being black and having a mind, even though he was involved in an environment that had him hustling in such manners, he still felt he had to get out. And when Freddie died and when he saw Scatter, whom he looked up to all his life, he really had to sort of get into himself. And this was the realization of it. And Think, to me, actually just sort of brought it out in somewhat of a gospel mood. Get down. I guess basically rhythms and feels of dancing overall, I suppose, with the little touch of what might be lustful and inspiring to one's mental take in, If you've ever really walked into a large hall or a place where a lot of kids are dancing and you're hearing some funky music, there are several things you immediately observe and take in, through your sensitivities, and those are the feelings and the hard breathings of one dancing, and the stumping, and and you take all of this, and all of a sudden you picture everybody's doing their thing.
To the funky groove. Get down, baby. Let the light reflect upon your natural mood. Get down, baby. Your creative mood shall express itself. Get down, baby. After life and desire, there is nothing left. We're all children of the world. hungry man in search for a hungry girl. The extreme supreme of all cannibals, the most weighty and two-faced of all animals.
Keep On Keeping On is, I guess, it's one of those songs that falls into a very obvious Mayfield bag of a message that might help to motivate and inspire. My thoughts was basically to the young, and I wanted them to somewhat understand, in spite of all the hang-ups and problems and everything that we see from the young mind, all the mature things that sort of hits the young mind. Sometimes at such an age, you're young all of a sudden, and then it seems the following day, everything opens up to you, the world that you've got to be, confronted with. And the overall thing is that they be cool and keep on keeping on, and remember that love basically is the way,
It's supposed to be. We just keep on keeping on. We just keep on keeping on. Many things that we have loaded, but make sure we'll soon admit that there's still a lot of love among us, and there's still a lot of faith, war, and trust when we keep on keeping on.
Amen. Actually, I was turned on with that particular song from Lilies of the Field. Sidney Poitier starred in that movie, and actually I come out of the theater with the impressions, with that song in my mind, and a few weeks later I just felt like I wanted to record it too.
Carry on, coming for to carry me home. Christmas morning, singing in a temple, talking with the elders. Tomorrow there's wisdom.
Well, I've been in the business 15 years. As a youngster, one is all up into the fame and the bit of what's considered the fast, entertaining life, and all the glamour and what have you. But, of course, anything, no matter how much you enjoy it, can become a gig. And if you mean to really do well and sustain yourself in the business, you got to get your head together. Well, I guess that was one of my fantasies in reference of pollution and the whole thing. And underground sort of took me on a trip as to if the country or the world had, through its situation and involvements in polluting and fighting and all, and the bombs and the whole bit, everybody would be forced to live underground, They'd actually have to everybody would have to go underground. And through this, of course, it being dark underground, you could see everybody would be the same color, basically, And it would be a trip to wonder or see how people would bring about their prejudices then, being that they have to all live the same life underground. Well, if there's a hell below, we're all gonna go. It really takes us into many, many things, and the mess that we are in as a country, I'm sure is going to improve. Simply, if for no other reasons, I look at this country and I look upon my environment in many, many ways, as strong as maybe I come on in reference of maybe a political scene or making a point of some of the religious bits, and speaking of hell and who's to be saved and who's not, I also envision and see a very beautiful, beautiful thing in the world, in the country I lived in, and with the utmost respect of being able to just say it, is a turn on and also a promise that, of course, something better can come out of it. And, of course, falling back to the song, it's just so obvious. If there is a hell below, I think we'll all be there.
We're all gonna go. Everybody praying. And everybody saying. But when come time to do, everybody's laying. Keep talking about don't worry. They'll say don't worry. They say don't worry. They say don't worry. Get ready, there's a train a-coming.
Oh, the train, it takes you back to the old gospel way of thinking, the teachings of different religions, black religions as well as white ones, and the train is somewhat of a symbol of God himself coming, to take on and bring on all the people who have somewhat gotten themselves together and may possibly be able to venture over to the other side of the world, the new world, or heaven. There's a train a-coming, You don't need no baggage, you just get on board. It basically inspires and motivates again, just to make people somewhat think to or feel that they should do right. It doesn't matter really what they're into or what their bag is, but if you can basically just be a smile toward another, we can all be saved,
They've been loved the most. They've been loved the most. No room for the hopeless.
Well, that's obvious. I believe that very strongly, that this is my country. And if you get into the lyrics, I think you'll understand and maybe even approve as to what we're trying to say.
Some people think we don't have the right to say it's my country. Before they give in, they'd rather fuss and fight than say it's my country. I paid 300 years or more of slave driving sweat and welts on my back. This is my country.
People, no matter where they are, it doesn't matter what environment, what lifestyle they have, or even what language they speak. My message, and through the simplicity of my message, delivers basically one thing, and is that people and are human everywhere. We really, we have the same fears, we shed the same tears, and we die in so many years, It's funny that in every country there are oppressed people who, no matter how you put it, still feel and sense and have the same hang-ups: drugs, lifestyle, civil. It doesn't have to be black and white, but it can be something else. There's always bigotry, segregation. It doesn't matter who the people are. And I think once they pick up to the simplicity and the for realness of whatever might be said in my recordings, they can turn on.
And I know you will give consideration. Shall we perish unjust or live equal as a nation? This is my country. Doo-doo-doo. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home.
I think that, sometimes the way I feel in reference of my presentation having to do with my live performance. It isn't so much that I know that I am an entertainer, and of course I respect that and enjoy being that. But sometimes through deliverance of messages, it's not so much to entertain or to even make one happy, it's to make them think, And if you can leave away from, here with some motivation or some inspiration as to will take you off into your own similar situation, and it will help you to better it, or at least to sort of brighten up mentally as to whatever it is, that's good enough for me.
Down at the Jordan, John was baptizing and saving all sinners. See him at the seaside, talking with the fishermen, and made them disciples.
This has been Rapping, Curtis Mayfield. Your comments count. Comments and opinions should be sent to this station. Or, Rapping, Post Office Box 2063, Grand Central Station, New York, New York, 10017. Rapping is a New Day Dawning production.
Hallelujah now.